There we are. Now I have my message. I can link and copy that everywhere.
That's exactly what I do.
That's what I do too, yep. I grab it once and I post it in all these Discords.
Sometimes I don't even change it. I do the tweet first and then I just put the tweet everywhere.
Alright, go ahead and...
Even when it doesn't make any sense.
Go to the live scene. Let's see, I got a couple more Discords to throw this in and then we'll be good to go.
Feels good.
Feels good, man. Feels good. It feels nice, man. I'm excited. It's a new podcast, you know? A new podcast.
Look at that nice fire background.
Oh, it's nice, dude. I'm really glad I found this. Like this, I was looking for like that type of feel, but it's nice. And I'd have a logo eventually. I don't have one yet, but it's gonna go. It's gonna go up here. Like me and Lepoli talked about it, but then like this week got so busy, she wasn't able to like make it for me. So it happens. But hello, hi. Hello everyone that's here. Hello, hi. My name is Nomad. I'm here with Vivid Chim, who is a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, Discord, avid Discord person. Just kind of everywhere.
I occasionally chat in Discord.
Occasionally chat in Discord. I'm gonna knock that down just a little bit. There we are.
I tweet a lot.
Yeah. Tweet a lot.
Yeah, I tweet more than anything. I'm basically a Twitter user, to be honest.
Yeah. Alright.
Beautiful lo-fi beats.
Yes, beautiful lo-fi
which I'm also going to turn down a bit because, despite me turning them down, they're still rather loud.
Yeah. But yes, hello everybody. Welcome to the first ever Fireside Chat podcast. This is the first of our weekly weekly podcasts. I'm gonna be doing these every Sunday night, either at 8:30 or 10:30, depending on if I work or not. Tonight, obviously, it's a little bit later than I would like to, just because I hit a lot of traffic coming up from work. And work was shitty this week, dude. This whole weekend was bad.
I don't even know what I've done this weekend. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This weekend's kind of just been a blur. I got my results on, I think Friday.
Yeah.
I got my results, I think, Friday, and then Saturday, I can't even remember, and then today I basically took my dog for a walk and did a stream, and that's about it.
That was a productive day. How's your dog doing, by the way?
He's doing pretty good. He's hopefully very asleep right now, hopefully.
Hello, Chop. Hello, Chop. How are you? But yes, everyone, yes, this is our weekly podcast, the Fireside Chats. Every Sunday night I'm going to sit down with a friend, guest, YouTuber, streamer, whatever, and just talk, you know? I want these streams to be nice and relaxing. That's why I got the lo-fi beats in the background, the nice fire, the crackling sounds in the background for you guys to enjoy. So if you guys are afraid of being up late at night, you don't want to be up late at night, that's okay. You can listen to me on the background. I'm going to try to have these streams up on YouTube and SoundCloud as well, so hopefully you guys can find me there. I have no idea how the hell to get this up on SoundCloud. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, I've done SoundCloud stuff.
Okay, so
mostly for coursework.
You can walk me through that bullshit, because I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah. Some people are SoundCloud rappers, you're a SoundCloud podcaster.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's like the hipster version of a SoundCloud rapper.
Yes, it's the lesser successful one. SoundCloud rappers, they have a what about Spotify? You have to pay money for Spotify, I believe, and I don't have that kind of.
I think you have to do like a deal with Spotify. There's some kind of like contract.
Well, I know Matt got that podcast him and Chris did together. They got that up on Spotify.
Oh god. Last thing that podcast needed was to be on more platforms. Jesus.
But I know he got that on Spotify, so I can figure it out. I might hit him up, see if he knows how to do it.
Like, Matt, how the fuck do you do this?
Oh, Matt, how did you get that horrible idea up on Spotify?
Matt, do you remember that horrible idea you had? How did you get that on Spotify?
But yeah, these chats, I just want to have a conversation with somebody about something new, and then usually have a general topic that we want to hit on at some point. And today we're going to be talking about gaming journalism, which is something that Vivid does on the regular. Yes. He went to school for that, which is what we were talking about earlier, where he got his results. You passed correctly. I have someone certified on here, right?
Yes. I'm,
okay.
I'm
all
ready.
right. All right. Because
I'm a qualified journalist now.
All right. Perfect. So we have someone that knows what he's talking about here, and that's the important thing. And we also want to talk about toxic culture, toxic gaming culture, and toxicity and rage culture that has infested gaming communities as of lately. Well, not really as of lately. It's kind of always been there. But something we saw when we were doing our E3. You did E3 coverage. You streamed it on your channel.
Yes, I did pretty much all of E3. Though some internet issues did stop me with it. Right. But for the most part, I basically covered everything in E3, and I went back and watched the stuff I missed. So. Right, and we basically covered everything.
Yeah, and I watched it when I could, at work through a couple different streams. Streamer Square with Loco and the Hunter Wild were the two that I watched when I could, when I wasn't watching yours. But something that I noticed when I was bouncing from stream to stream when I could was the chats were horrible, man. They were so bad.
E3 chats, and they're always bad, to be fair. Twitch chat in general for events and stuff is dreadful. Even for esports and stuff, it's unbearable for the most part. You get some, obviously not all chats are terrible. You get some good chats, and some streamers have really friendly and kind chats, and then you have casual chill out chats. But I'd say maybe a good 6 out of 10 times you seem to get a Twitch chat which is just dreadful.
I mean, it's just the one that I was expecting to be bad was Bethesda's. I expected that one to be a shit show.
Going into that, I was like, they're not gonna have a good show this year.
But it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't hate Bethesda's show.
It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't really anything.
No, and
Didn't have much going for it.
I'm one of the few people that actually likes Fallout 76. I love the game. I actually like the lore that's in there. I like the questline. The big thing for me is I like playing with my friends, and I feel like the additions they're making to 76 are definitely going to allow to enrich that experience with my friends.
I mean, I'm mostly a single player dude for the most part, which I was very skeptical about 76 when it came out, but I really enjoyed it. The more I played it, especially after my review, I played probably another 100 hours of that game, and it's probably maybe because I did about maybe 20 hours for the review, including beta time. And for that, I didn't have a single issue with the game. I didn't have any bugs. I didn't have any glitches or anything. Or nothing I could definitely say this is on the game's end and not mine. Nothing concrete. And then maybe from about 2 hours after I finished that review, in terms of gameplay onwards, all of the issues started pouring in for me.
It was because you got so many, and again, talking about race culture, you got so many bad comments on that video. Your comments.
It was a divisive one.
And I mean, but I mean, at the same time, it did show that drama is much more profitable than than content, because that video is one of your most viewed videos ever, and the comment section is so bad.
It's a minefield. I still get comments on it to this day.
It's so bad. And we were talking about it in Discord, and it's just oh my god, they're calling you a shill. He has a nickname in his Discords of being the shill of the group.
Yeah.
And it's because
I've made it now.
Everyone was like, "How much did Bethesda pay you to make this good review?" And you were like, "If I paid for 5 more hours, I wouldn't have done it."
I was like, if I literally played this game for 3 more hours, I would have rated it maybe a 5 at most. Which is still that's at the point where it's not bad, but it's not good, And that was kind of
right.
The best criticism I like, and I posted about this on Twitter the other day, is there was 2 articles, one from Eurogamer, one from Video Game 24/7, I think the site is called. I believe that's the platform anyway. But they did 2 separate articles on 2 separate games where the headline was "So and so is fine," and that was just it. So it was Borderlands 3 is fine, and I was just as a person who uses the internet, I refuse to believe that something is just fine. It either has to be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, with no in between allowed. Yeah, because that's how the internet works.
Yeah,
It's fine is the best headline you can do these days, honestly.
Yeah, because everyone's gonna watch it. Everyone's gonna
everyone's gonna get angry at that.
They didn't love it, they didn't hate it. What the fuck? There's gotta be something wrong. What is wrong with it?
But yeah, you're gonna have the people who really want this game to be good and being like, "How dare you shit talk this game?" And then you have the people who think it's gonna be bad and being like, "What?"
and another a game that I saw when I was watching E3 and kind of the fallout, if you will, no pun intended, for the game was Final Fantasy the Final Fantasy VII remake. Now look, I'm a Square Enix fanboy. Everyone's very quick to point that out. That anything Square puts their name on, I will buy. But I'm a little bit on the fence with this remake. All right, so on one hand, what I saw of it, goddamn amazing. I love the way it looks. I love the way I don't hate that they went away with the turn-based combat, but there's some people that are like, I refuse to play this game if they don't have a mode or a mode where I can play it turn-based. They're not gonna have that, man. Like turn-based content, in my opinion, turn-based combat does not fit those graphics. And I know that sounds weird, but they don't. Like, have you ever seen a game that looks that good and that realistic have turn-based combat?
Not in that kind of style. I mean, not in the kind of style that a Final Fantasy game would have. Because the XCOM 2 looks fucking incredible, but it's a different style of turn-based combat, you know?
Right.
So that one fits it, but I don't think the Final Fantasy like JRPG style of turn-based would kind of fit it. And I think it's more of a modernization, I suppose. Whereas back in the day, they might have been limited with that kind of hack and slash combat. Whereas I feel like they're being more experimental. Now, obviously, I'm not a Square Enix fan, which is why I think Square Enix is going to be the best one to discuss, because I personally dislike most things that Square Enix do. I'm not a fan of most of their games, whereas I know you're a fan of pretty much all of their games.
Pretty much.
So it's like, and when I was watching the Square Enix conference, I was just like, it feels like, just as a bit of general E3 criticism, when it came to Square Enix, I was like, well, one, you have a stage, which immediately makes it better than last year, because you have something to show. And second of all, if it isn't Final Fantasy, it doesn't seem to be worth a Square Enix's fans' time. Because they were like, here's Final Fantasy VII, everyone went hype as shit. And most other games that were
here's the JRPG, and we're just like, woo! And then they showed Final Fantasy VIII remastered.
Yeah.
Woo! Everyone's happy again!
Then was there a mobile game as well? I think there was.
I think they mentioned Brave Exvius. They mentioned Brave Exvius. So I
crossover or something.
It's so Brave Exvius is one of those games where it has its own characters, but then you can unlock. You can it's one of them like chess type deals where you open crystals and you get new heroes. And you can get the Final Fantasy heroes. Personally, if you're gonna play a Final Fantasy mobile game, I prefer Dissidia Opera Opium. I think that's the name of it. That game was fantastic. But no,
they also had Final Fantasy Online as well, didn't they?
Final Fantasy 14, the new expansion is coming out, which is really cool. Everyone's playing it. It's huge on Twitch. Like a whole bunch of streamers are streaming it. I played it a little bit.
What was that game?
My issue with MMOs, though, and Final Fantasy 14 is the same way, is I don't like the long-term hand-holding that so many do. It's like, hold my hand for a little bit, but then let me go. And I think
let me do what I want.
Like what is it? Last Desert or what the hell is it called? Black Desert Black Desert Online. That game holds your hand for way too long. Everyone that I know that plays it loves it. I couldn't get into it because I played it for 2 hours and I'm still in tutorial missions and I'm like, I'm moving on to something else. Like, it was hard to keep my that's the only issue I have with MMOs. Final Fantasy 14 is the exact same way. You basically have to get to level 20 before you're really on your own. And by that point, I'm ready to move on to something else,
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of the Square Enix, and this is kind of where some of the toxicity comes in, but also I believe it was kind of Square Enix's fault. They didn't make anything other than Final Fantasy really seem like a big deal. And they had the same issue last year. Nothing seemed like a big deal, other than maybe Monster Hunter, because they showed everything everywhere else. If you get what I mean.
Right.
So it was like they announced that Outriders game. I think it's called Outriders. And that's like a new IP from them, it seems. Or like a new IP under their house. That got no reaction at all.
And then the Avengers didn't get the reaction they wanted it to.
The Avengers definitely didn't get the reaction they wanted it to. But like, it was the same last year as well. They announced, maybe last year. I feel like it could have been last year. The Quiet Man, that game that came out and just, ironically because of the name, just died a death immediately. Like nobody really bought it, but like, and it seems to be Square Enix's thing. It's like, well, we do one thing really good. Well, we do two things really good. It's Final Fantasy, and by a lesser extent, but still a good extent, Tomb Raider.
And Star Ocean. Star Ocean's a big one for them.
Yeah. And if it's like, if it isn't, and maybe I suppose Monster Hunter as well, though I suppose Monster Hunter is a bit of a less frequent thing, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, Monster Hunter's Capcom.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, last year's...
Is it published by them, though?
No, so last year's big thing was the, hey, what's going on, Jadrian? So the big thing with Monster Hunter last year with Square Enix was it was a Monster Hunter.
Crossover?
It was a crossover. They brought the behemoth in there. Cactars were roaming around. There was a big Moogles were in the area. Like that was the big thing last year, which is why it was like a big deal for them.
Okay, I remember like I was saying this. I had Bonner in my chat when we were watching Square Enix because we watched it back after Nintendo, and I remember just watching it. And I was like, with most of these Square Enix games and like all JRPGs and stuff in general, you could literally put cutscenes of them back to back, and I couldn't tell you what game is which because they're all kind of the same to me because I'm not familiar with that kind of.
And that's the thing. Like I'm so excited, dude. There were so many. I'm a huge JRPG fan. Like I play them on stream all the time. I'm working on the Tales, the Tales of Cold Steel game right now.
Yes.
I love JRPGs. I love them. They're my lifeblood. Inject them shits into my veins. There were so many of them that were revealed this year. There's a new Tales game coming out. The Tales of Berseria, Tales of Symphonia. There's a new Tales game coming out.
Is there another one? Okay.
Yes, that was revealed at the Xbox. Which, by the way, Xbox was probably the winner of E3. I think.
For me, it was between Xbox and Nintendo.
I didn't see Nintendo's. I'll be 100%. I didn't see Nintendo's.
Nintendo, because I'm not a Nintendo guy. I've been a Nintendo guy for years. But it's like they know how to do an E3 conference.
I was just about to get to that, Jadrian. The appearance thing. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Yeah, because that's a big.
That's the big toxicity thing. That was one of the things I was thinking about when I was coming up with this topic. It's like, okay. Let's touch on that really quickly. So
yeah.
I understand that the movies for the Avengers are the prominent thing that everyone is looking at, and there's people that love the movies that have never picked up. They're allergic to the comic books. They touch it and their skin burns. Like I get that. So
it's one of those things for me where it's like I didn't read any of the comics other than maybe Spider-Man.
Same here.
Because I read Spider-Man as a kid. I didn't read a single like Marvel comic book other than that until maybe 2015, 2016. And like I kind of went back and like read maybe some classic ones. I read like the Infinity Gauntlet one, for example.
Right.
And it's like one of those things where I understand like that a lot of people just aren't interested in that medium because the movie medium, like the cinema, is a bit more exciting and like modern, I suppose, and is easier to get into. But when I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, you should just make them look like the actors and have the actors voice act them," I'm like, "No, that's a terrible idea." It's like
it's a horrible idea. Like Jadrian said, there
would cost way too much.
Way too much money. Way too much. Not to mention, there's nothing wrong with this cast.
The voice cast is
fucking phenomenal.
I don't think I've ever seen a voice cast that strong.
It's so good. Like I understand like everyone wants a movie thing, but have you looked up what these 2 minute does? Are you a fan of The Last of Us, which I'm currently playing on stream for those of you guys that don't know that? But
good plug.
If you're a fan of the Uncharted, are you a fan of the Uncharted series?
Yeah,
because that's the fucking voice act. Yes. Like seriously, like these guys are so good. And
all of them are absolutely phenomenal voice actors.
The only appearance that I wasn't crazy about was Captain America, because I've seen that version of Tony Stark before. Yeah. I've seen that version of Bruce Banner. They're not like, oh, we just pulled this appearance out of our ass and threw it up on screen. Like, it's in the comics.
The Captain America one's very weird, and I don't know what it is about him.
He looks really like I get it. Like even when he puts the mask on, like in the movie, like Steve Rock, Chris
Evans is a very
Chris Evans, Well, Chris Evans,
you're never going to get to that point. You're never going to get to Chris Evans.
No, but Chris Evans out of the suit and Chris Evans in the suit, they both still look like Chris Evans.
Yeah.
The guy they put in this game outside of the suit and in the suit looks like completely different people, and it's like I didn't recognize him.
He looks a bit like for any comic fans, a Rob Liefeld drawing where he's just overly muscular for no reason.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He seems like he's extremely bulky for little to no reason, and that's the only character design of that. I was like,
And we also have to keep in mind, this game is in development, right? This game isn't coming out soon. A lot of this stuff, and they have said they're not going to change the appearances, but they can still make the appearances look better, right?
Yeah, they can.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to like. And I had a friend of mine. My friend of mine was like, "Oh, see, he hates Square Enix. He hates it." And he's like, "See, there's Square Enix again, not listening to the fans. There they go again. They're not gonna change nothing." And I don't mean to like impersonate you, John. I hope you're not offended by that one at all. But it's like he was so mad. He's like, I was like, dude, no, they're not gonna put the fucking movie cast in there. They're not. No, like I get right? Yeah, they're not going to. Like there's nothing wrong with the appearances in principle. People just wanted the movie cast, and that's not gonna. They can't do that.
It's the same with the movie cast. When they cast a lot of the movie characters, they're like, it's not this guy.
Where's Tom Holland, Spider-Man? And now it's like Tom Holland has to play Spider-Man for the rest of his life.
He's too much of a pretty boy. He's not a nerd-looking guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get beat up by the bullies. Instead, he's gonna steal their girls. Like, come on now.
It's like it turns out to be a great one,
Yeah,
and it's like. And we get the same things. It's not even just games. Like it's media in general.
Yeah.
The reaction to Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Oh my god, that toxicity is just. Oh god.
That's something else.
And here's from my
Twilight guy. What are you doing?
Oh, is Batman gonna sparkle in the sunlight? Like, come on, man.
It's like you said that about Heath Ledger because he was in Brokeback Mountain. And look what the fuck he did.
Yeah, like he made the best joke in the world. Yeah. And my only issue with Robert Pattinson is I don't know how much of a good Bruce Wayne he's gonna be. I think he'll be a spectacular Batman. I think, but I'm a little bit hesitant on his Bruce Wayne because Batman is sort of like Peter Parker. Like I love Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, fucking hated Spider-Man.
Yes,
I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
I was gonna say it was the opposite of Andrew.
Hated fucking exactly. So Tom Holland is perfect. I'm worried about Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne. That's all it is. And Peter Parker and Spider-Man are more of a two heads on the same coin, whereas Bruce Wayne's kind of a side guy. Batman's the main guy. So not quite as bad, but it's still something that I'm like I need to see it to see how it's gonna look. But
moral of that story is, who the fuck cares what the Avengers look like? They change the comics every 3 years. Who cares?
Yeah. That's another thing I saw. Jager was like, I feel like he'd be better for a Batman Beyond, the Terry McGinnis version. Like, yeah, that's probably true.
I could see that. Yeah. When I did the announcement, I was like, I could probably see him more as like a Nightwing character than a Batman, but I'm sure he'd be good. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Let's just see what it looks like when it comes out. Yeah, let's reserve judgment. And I think the problem with gaming in general is everyone is such a fly off the cusp type of reaction.
Yes.
And then it's like it comes out and you're like, oh wow.
I think we're both kind of guilty of it as well. I mean, I kind of have to be because it's kind of my job.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean,
it's kind of what I have to be. But we're both guilty of it.
But another part of your job as a gaming journalist is let me take a look at this and let me apply logic to it. Right.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite ones was I've recently been working on a new review, and that's for a early access game that I came across. And the thing with that was a lot of people were raving about this game, and it was like, oh, this game is absolutely incredible, made by one dude. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's on sale. I'll give it a look. It's got 93% on Steam, stuff like that. People were being like, this is absolutely incredible, like for one dude, and like there's a new version of it coming out or something after the early access success, stuff like that. I was like, huh. And generally, it was an impressive game. I was really impressed, but it was one of those things where it's like, well, obviously we have the negative side where we get like our review bombs and stuff, but we also get the opposite of that, where people are like extremely positive of something which isn't really quite there yet and maybe doesn't deserve all of the praise, despite of how good it might look. You know, and it's like. It was one of those things, especially when I did more research into it. Like, I found out the developer had admitted he'd stolen 3D models for that game, which is something you should never do, obviously, because that's theft. But he'd like stolen some 3D models of enemies and like changed them up a bit. And like the more you looked into it, the more it's like, well, does it really deserve all this praise? You know, when he's fully admitted, and granted he admitted and he apologized, which is better than what a lot of developers on Steam do. But
and one thing, if it was like a free use model, like an RPG Maker model or something like that.
That would be one thing. But apparently he'd taken it from like a pirating site, and it's from quite a big game. And I can't really put I don't know whether it's changed yet, because he said he's changing it, which is good. I can't tell what model it is, but there are two models in this game. One which gives me a Dark Souls vibe. Kind of like the skeletons, I suppose, or like some of the warrior characters you get in Dark Souls. And the other one was an ODST from Halo. One of the enemies give me a very strong vibe of an ODST, especially the helmet. So I can't tell whether that's the one in particular or not, but that's just speculation on my end. But yeah, you get both sides of it, obviously. The people being like, this game looks like it's gonna absolutely suck, and you've seen nothing of it, you know. And you get that with absolutely everything. It was like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be terrible. It's like, well, you haven't seen any gameplay yet, so chill just a little bit, you know.
Yeah, reel it back a bit.
You can be like not excited about something, you know. For example, the Outer Worlds. So the Outer Worlds is a game that everyone's kind of raving about at the moment, like because it's Obsidian, and it seems to be just New Vegas in space, which a lot of people like. And the concept of it was really good. But I remember the first reveal trailer. I watched it and I was like, "This looks crap." In my opinion, it doesn't look very good. But the second trailer they did, where they actually showed a bit of gameplay and stuff, I was like, "Okay, this looks a bit better," you know.
Right.
It's like they've taken a slightly different approach, and like in this trailer compared to the first one, I'm like, okay, this looks interesting now, you know, because I've seen more of it. I've got more context of it, and I think that's something that a lot of people kind of just skip. Is like the important parts, really.
So we had to take a very short break here due to some technical issues. Greatly apologize for this, guys. But I cut all that out, and we're just going to skip right back to where we got it fixed.
Nothing's more exciting than trying to fix a podcast with some lo-fi beats in the background.
You know, it's the first one. Like, this is the first one we've done.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that everything
at least we got the lo-fi beats, you know?
Yeah, and at least it fucks up now.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even a real fuck up because it's just Discord going down. So it's not even like we fucked up.
I don't know if it's a global Discord. I think it's something on your end.
No. It's everyone.
It's everywhere? Oh, okay.
I looked on Twitter and immediately it was like Discord down.
Discord down?
Can I?
Oh my god, why are you so big? Okay,
check.
Let me remove this. Let me just remove it all together.
I've sent you the backup option on Facebook.
We'll just put that up there and call it your face cam for the night.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'll get it. Hang on. I'll get it. Hold on. I got you. Hang on. Alright. And we'll continue this podcast. Oh, hold on. I
think it's very fitting given the circumstances.
Yes. I feel bad for everyone who decides to watch the VOD on Twitter, on Twitch, and not YouTube. Because when I upload this to YouTube, I'm cutting all this out. Yeah, hang on. Come on, Facebook. You can get through this, buddy. You can get through. Come on, Facebook. Load the goddamn picture.
We're depending on Google Hangouts and Facebook.
Here's some toxicity.
It's 2009 all over again.
I'm gonna fade into the toxicity here. Facebook desktop sucks. I hate it. It's the biggest waste.
That's not just like the only good thing anymore, you know.
Dude, it's so fucking garbage. Just fucking Messenger's not even loading for me. What the fuck? Come on.
We got Hangouts on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2009 throwback podcast.
Yeah, this is 2009. We're going back in time. Keanu Reeves is not obsessively popular.
Yeah, this is before his resurgence.
Same image as
by a good 5 years.
Yeah. Let's go to pictures. Same image as Lesai. And then we're gonna go here. We're just gonna add an image. Not an image slideshow, just an image.
Just different slide, like a slideshow of the same image.
And it's gonna be pictures, and it's gonna be Lesai.
Yes.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There he is. All right, guys, we've got Vivid back.
The Vivid Sai.
There he is. This is
very
fair. There he is. Yeah, it's gonna rest right on top of you. There we are. Perfect.
In the fire, burning in hell, where I belong.
Oh my fucking god! All right.
Beautiful.
Back to business. Holy shit!
I can't wait until you cut to this and like with no explanation, it just goes from a webcam to this shit.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. Holy shit.
Hashtag blame Discord. Right.
Fuck, man. Alright, so, what the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about, like, that you can be, like, overly positive and overly negative. And we tend to get both. I can't remember my exact train of thought, but it was essentially, we tend to get a lot of people who are super negative about shit. And it's immediately like, fuck this shit, you know? Blah, blah, blah. And then you get the super positive people, which is like, oh my god, this looks like the best thing ever. And it's like, well, and in both cases, you're normally just like, well, we've seen nothing yet, really.
Right.
Come on now. Chill out maybe just a little bit. Calm down a bit. You know, it's a bit excessive, like, you know. And E3 tends to be the biggest source of that. And, like, I think we touched upon the example I used of the Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when I got cut off in my.
I saw in your webcam you were making a lot of like hand motions. And
that's just the way I talk.
You got animated, and I was like, "There's no noise."
No, I use hand gestures a lot because acting background.
Yeah, same. I do a lot of shit with my hands.
I use that for everything, but. I feel. I mean, we're both guilty of it. Let's be honest. We're both guilty of getting overly hyped, and like more so in my case. Although I've tried to be a bit better, I'm known for being a bit cynical. Shit. So I'm just like, especially on Twitter. But although in Twitter is mostly just in parody. But
so the biggest thing that I have an issue with this toxic culture is this habit of belittling other people for liking or disliking something, and that's something that I know I'm guilty of. But I've noticed a lot of my friends, you know, some of my best friends are like Tom. I love Tom. Tom is Redundancy, aka Redundancy. You guys have seen him on this channel a lot before. Tom is one of my best friends, but even he is extremely guilty of this. Anyone that bashes Fallout 76, Tom has just this wall of like fuck you speech that he's about to sling at you for saying something negative about Fallout 76. And you know, he's not alone. On the flip side, anything that I say positive about like Square Enix or Final Fantasy, my friend John has a wall of hatred he's about to send at me because I said something positive about Square Enix. So I feel like it's an issue that you know, a lot of people have that's like my biggest pet peeve. It's like you can be okay with someone hating something. You can be okay with someone liking something, and there's no need to belittle somebody because they like it, you know, or hate it. You know,
it's one of those things where like I feel like I'm more on the latter part of that, where I'm usually having to defend my opinions on something. And because I do a lot of critique and stuff, that tends to be a lot of people being like, how dare you have an opinion on this game? That's not my opinion on this game. And I was like, well, that's literally what a review is. You know? if you want an unbiased review, go read a fucking walkthrough. That's because a review by its very nature is like a bias towards the person writing the review.
Right.
And whilst I do try to remove any personal bias that I do have towards something, other than anecdotally, like I'm still going to have my opinions on something, and whether they're influenced by any prior experiences, like I'd say maybe, for example, I have quite a like good gamer to game relationship with Fallout 3, despite not really playing it a lot over the years. But it's kind of like the first game that got me into gaming at a deeper level, other than just like, oh, you know, I enjoy playing Pokemon a lot or something like that, at a much more like in-depth and non-casual level, I'd say. And that was the first game for that. So that one, obviously, I have my personal like love for that game. Whereas maybe, for example, New Vegas, I've played the crap out of, and I removed my personal love for that game when I replayed it, and found that looking at it as objectively as I can, it's not as good as I remember it being. You know, and a lot of people were not happy with me saying that.
Right.
But yeah, it was one of the biggest criticisms I had about New Vegas going back and playing it is I don't like how open-ended the beginning is. Which is a bit weird to say about an RPG, to be honest. But I usually like something to bite onto these days when I'm playing a game. Because I think it's just the way that I play games now. It's like I still enjoy playing games, but I'm usually either playing them for something or just like with something in mind, I suppose. Whether it be I'm playing it on stream, playing it for review, or maybe like a video in mind or something, or a write-up in mind. And I usually need something to latch onto, otherwise I'm like, whatever, you know? And I feel like when I reflected back on New Vegas, for example, I was like, well, I don't like how open-ended it is, you know, playing it again. I used to love how open-ended it was, but it just feels like there's nothing to do, because it's like, do what you want, and it's like, in theory that's good, but you've not really given me any motive to really want to do anything. It's like the only remote one I'd say maybe is like, oh, you can go kill Benny, and it's like, do I really need to kill Benny though, you know?
Right.
It's one of those
I really
weird
reflect
things.
on that. You know, you mentioned like you know, not really being able to play a game unless you're doing it for something, and that was actually, you know, I guess I want to make 2 points on that. Something as a creator I've noticed that I have an issue with is I don't get to casually play games much anymore.
Yeah,
mostly because of work. But, you know, I really want to take the streaming seriously. I really want to take the content creating seriously. So any free time I have is usually spent streaming something. You know, like my friends would always get on me like, you don't have to stream something to play it. Well, if I want to, the only time I have to play a game is during times that I want to stream. So, yeah, kind of I have to, you know. So
it's such a weird thing, and it definitely has changed my perspective on games a lot.
Yeah,
I'd say,
because now it's like I have to find a game that not only am I going to enjoy, but I'm going to be able to commentate on this. I'm going to be able to, you know, someone's going to want to watch me play it. You know, that's why it's, you know, the Tales of Cold Steel game. I love the game. It's not a really popular game. Like, not a lot of people are searching for who's playing this series, you know?
Yeah.
So from a content creating standpoint, I got to mix other games in with it, you know? I can't just stream 5 nights straight of Tales of Cold Steel. I can't. I love the game. You love watching it. That's where Nomad Lude was made. That's where Nomad Lude, which I just put in chat, was made, was because of that series. And I can't play it 5 days in a row because it's not going to be good for the content creating side. And so I have to, like, it's completely changed my thinking when it comes to games. Like, I've got games that I want to play this game right now, but that game would be an amazing game to stream. Like, I have God of War, Spider-Man, the Spider-Man PS4 game. You know, I have them both. They're going to be so good to stream because people are going to want the nostalgia of it. It might pop up in recommended lists. People might be looking like, God of War's been out for a while. It might go on sale. Let me watch someone play it. Like, it's completely
It just recently
changed my mindset.
a year old, didn't it?
Yeah, it's completely changed my mindset on what I look at with video when it comes to gaming. And when I went into E3, that's what I was looking for, was games that I could stream. Like, what games are going to be hot games I got to jump on immediately. Like, that's why I wanted to stream the Fallout Battle Royale, but I got into The Last of Us, So,
the Fallout Battle Royale, I was like,
well,
I think I tweeted this on and tweeted this out during the Bethesda conference. I was like, Bethesda just made me want to reinstall and then uninstall Fallout 76 within 2 minutes. They were like, NPCs are finally coming, which was my one major concern about it. I was like, NPCs could easily fit in this game. It's fucking stupid that they're not in it. That's almost an exact quote. I was like, why weren't they in this game? They should have been. They don't make a damn difference, not being here or not being here, really, But I think they would have just added to the game. And I was like, oh, finally. Like, maybe people can shut the fuck up now.
People can actually enjoy this game now.
Yeah. And then they were like, Battle Royale. And I was like, and there it is.
And there it is. It was too good to be true, but Bethesda, you had to fuck it before it was good.
You had 2 steps in one direction, and then you swiftly kicked me in the dick down the stairs again. You've done it to me again. But, yeah, that was the funny thing. But, yeah, I kind of, like, have the 3 mindsets now. Because I still have the gamer mindset, I suppose you can call it. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play a game that I know I'm going to enjoy. Cyberpunk, for example, I don't care about the streaming or the content creation. This is a game that I wanted for maybe 4 years, So I'm like, yes, I want this game. And like, there's even other stuff as well. I can be like, that looks like it'd be a fun game. That looks like it'd be a good game. I'm getting Blair Witch, for example, because I know the developers.
I'm not touching that son of a bitch. I don't do horror, man. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, The Last of Us is probably like the scariest type of game I can play. And The Last of Us isn't a horror game. Like, the clickers are fucking terrifying, and when shit chases after you.
I would say we did play that Pacify game, but I wouldn't really call that much of a horror game.
That was more.
That was a meme. I'd say.
If I'm playing with other people, I can handle it. And I've noticed that if I'm and also I'm streaming The Last of Us, and I've noticed that things that I feel like would scare me before, because I know even if it's not like, even if I don't have a lot of viewers watching, even if it's only like 1 or 2. Even just having the camera on while I'm playing it seems to puts me in more of an entertainer mindset versus a, oh my god, I'm fucking terrified. And it kind of forces me to get through it,
It's kind of weird. Like, if I look at my most casual, like, because as I mentioned, I have the 3 mindsets when it comes to games these days. My most casual one is actually my Twitch. I'd say my Twitch creator mindset, my entertainer mindset, because right now, I'm streaming a game that nobody's gonna fucking watch. I'm streaming a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh game, just because I have it, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not gonna review this game anytime soon. I don't see any credit in reviewing this, other than maybe an anniversary coming out or something. I don't know. There's no logistical reason for me to sit down and play this, but I want to play it because 1 is a bit nostalgic, and 2, I want to complete it. So I never have to fucking touch it again, and it's just out of my sight.
Right.
So I'm like, let's just do it on stream. Like, kill some time with it, have some fun. And I'll probably mix it up with a few other games, but it's mostly games that I'm like, well, I'm not going to review this anytime soon, probably. But I just enjoy playing them, and I want to get something out of them still. So I put them on stream. The more boxes you tick, essentially, the more hyped I am for a game. So it's like, because you have my reviewer mindset, it's like, right, which one of these is going to make a very effective review? And how can I organize my stuff around it? So Cyberpunk's the biggest one, because it ticks all 3 boxes. I know for a damn well fact, as soon as that game comes out, I'm going to be playing a lot better. I'm going to be playing it for review, then playing it on stream, probably both at the same time.
Right.
And it's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to like immerse myself in that world, because 1, I love the genre of Cyberpunk.
Right.
2, I love the tabletop game of Cyberpunk. So it's like, I'm very much invested in that. But when it came to the review mindset, I was like, this is the most anticipated release of all time. This is going to be a big review. This is like, maybe, if I were to hazard a guess, I'd probably say this might be like above Fallout 76 levels. Because it's a very anticipated game. I could probably maybe do double those views
Mm-hmm.
if I get it out in an orderly fashion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I can also link to other games because I own all 3 Witcher games, which are all CD Projekt Red titles.
Mm-hmm.
So I can do 3 weeks before on Witchers 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm. Build up,
Maybe even
so just like you do with the Fallout series.
Yeah, if I wanted to be cheeky with it, maybe even throwing Gwent. If I really wanted to be like
true, make it a whole month thing, like a month leading up to it,
and then hit the release. Do the release, play a fuck ton of it day one, write it the night of day one, then pretty much edit it, upload it day 2. That's pretty much what it'd be. Unless I played it at midnight, then I could probably get it up started day 2. Because it's not going to happen like Fallout 76, where I got the game a day before launch because they fucked up.
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
I did not. What the hell?
So basically, Fallout 76 came out November 14th, I want to say, and it was a timed release. So as soon as it was November 14th, it would come out. You'd be able to play your game. The issue was that only worked on console because as soon as the game came out on PC in a region, it came out in every region on PC. Oh. So I'm sat there like on Bethesda.net. I happen to look at it and I'm like, well, I'm playing Fallout 76 pretty much a day before release.
Because Australia hit it, and because Australia hit it, so it opened up for everything. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I can review this game now. So I did my
It's almost like you got an advanced copy. Like.
Yeah. I pretty much got a review copy of the game.
Wow.
So I did all my review footage then.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Yeah, so if CD Projekt Red could do that, that'd be dope.
They'd probably be very like, nah, fam, you're gonna wait.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could give me a day in advance on that, like you did, like Fallout did. That'd be great because I could get all my review done immediately. But yeah, it's that's like the review mindset though. Like good example is I'm going to be revisiting 76 in November for the 1 year anniversary of it to see how far it's come since its release and kind of do like a comparison review. I also want to do one for some older games that I reviewed, kind of like redo them or revisit them if they've had support since I touched upon them, which a lot of them haven't. Good example would be Friday the 13th, the game. Because I've heard it's gotten worse. I haven't played it in ages, but I'm like, I've heard it's gotten worse.
I really dodged a bullet with that game. I really wanted it because like I'm a big believer that like the streaming circuit tends to dictate the games that are really popular. Like a lot of the games that I watch streamers play, I end up wanting to play. Right?
Yes.
I
hate the term, but influencers.
but I mean that's why I want to look at Final Fantasy 14 again. Hi Kitty. That's like I didn't like that cadence of Hyrule game. I had no interest in it. Now I'm
is that the Crypt of the Necrodancer one?
Yeah, I'm like, I watched a couple of streamers play it last night, and I'm like, that's actually a pretty fun looking game. So.
I think the biggest example for me is pretty much anything Nintendo. Yeah. I don't play Nintendo games, and I haven't for years, essentially. The last Nintendo system I own, well, I owned a 2DS, but I don't really count that because I don't fucking use it. I bought Pokemon Sun and the 2DS because I wanted Pokemon Sun. Hated it. I haven't really touched it. Pokemon Sun was terrible, and it was a really boring game. And then I bloody I was like, oh well, that kind of killed my stuff for Nintendo. But then I saw people playing Smash Bros, and I'm like, shit, I really want Smash Bros, but I have to get a Switch for it. And I'm like, but yeah, the streamers and their content creators do have an influence over games. It's not usually the biggest ones. Usually it's the marketing teams, but it's definitely noticeable. Especially with indie games. Indie games get impacted heavily.
Heavily. That's why they'll actually pay people to play their games, just so they gotta get that publicity. But for me,
one of the best examples is Layers of Fear, Bloober Team. They're the ones doing Blair Witch. I wouldn't have known who they were like Layers of Fear was probably going to be a game that would pass me by. And then I saw it being played, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So I bought it, played it myself, and like, this is the best horror game I've ever played. And I've since like decided that I'm gonna buy every game that they make. So yeah, it's just one of those things.
But back to the original thing I was saying. Friday the 13th, I watched people like Mini Lad and Big Jiggly Panda and Ohm Wrecker and Delirious. Bye, kitty. My cat decided to pay a little visit. I don't know if anyone saw or not.
No,
but
you need a cat emote.
Yeah,
That's the
little
thing,
cat
right?
emote. Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. My second emote's gonna be about my cat. But anyway, so I watched them play it, and I was like, oh, this thing looks so much fun. I want to play it so bad. I'm so excited. And now I'm like, wow, I'm glad I didn't let them suck me into buying that game.
Yeah.
Because that shit sucks now.
Yeah, I bought it because I was like, well, I love Friday the 13th, the series, so I was like, I'll just buy it. I was like, I want I was like interested in that kind of game because I think it came out before Dead by Daylight.
No, Dead by Daylight was first.
Was it? They were around the same time though.
Around
they
the
were
same
very
time, but
they were very
Dead
close
by
to
Daylight
each other,
came
weren't
out a little bit earlier, and it blew up, and then it was pretty much like, it really seemed like it was trying to just like capture the momentum that Dead by Daylight had started.
Well, I don't know because I know for a fact Friday was in development longer. I know that.
Which is
Friday,
really
Friday.
unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fucking Sonic Boom team made it, so I'm not even fucking surprised.
Yeah.
Really. But because they abandoned the game now. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had legal issues with it.
There's a different team working on it now, but essentially, Ilphonic, who are, in my opinion, one of the worst development teams in the world right now. Because when you're responsible for Friday the 13th and Sonic Boom, you can't be called good. And they essentially abandoned it. They were like, "Oh, the game's in a good state. Our contract's up. Bye." And it was like, "The game's in a good state. Are you fucking real?"
Game is, you didn't add anything. You gave all these promises, then you just bailed on them.
Like it's barely functional.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
don't know, man.
but yeah, it kind of made me mad because I was like, "Come on, guys! Like this could have been good." And the thing that really affected that game more than anything, in my opinion, was diminishing returns.
Yeah.
There was like when you do the kills, like because it has the one thing that game has going for it, and I think still has going for it over say a Dead by Daylight, is its kill animations, which are all very good. It's just as soon as you see them once, you're like, it's like the magic's gone. You know, it's like cool. I've seen a dude get impaled. Next, please.
Yeah.
You know, and that game, like did I ever tell you I ordered a prop for my video that I wanted to do in that game, which didn't show up for 8 months?
You had a what? Yeah, no, I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, so I originally I was going to start the webcams earlier. The webcam stuff a lot earlier. I was going to start it with Friday the 13th. I actually got a hockey mask, like for it, but it didn't come until 8 months after the fact. Like it was nearly the following Halloween.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
That's that I would have gotten a return on shipping.
I got a refund because it never showed up.
Oh wow!
But and then I was like,
8 months
just
later,
showed
it's
up.
like, well, where the fuck have you been?
I'd forgotten I'd ordered it. So I just opened. I opened it and I was like, why is that? What?
So in conclusion here, since it's midnight for me, so I know it's like fucking 5 a.m. for you over there across the pond.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something, Vivid. What is the most toxic community that you think exists
In gaming.
in gaming? What's the most toxic community?
That is a rough one. Because obviously there's like pretty much everything has their own toxic.
Right, but some
like
of it like balances itself out because of like
Yeah.
the good parts of it. What is the most toxic community that you've ever seen? Because I know I have one, but what is yours?
I'd say maybe the one that like there's a couple that strikes me immediately. One of them's Rocket League. Rocket League is a great game, but the people who play Rocket League are fucking assholes. All of them. Like every dude you play against multiplayer in Rocket League.
Well, they're gonna BM you, but yeah.
they're all just dicks for the sake of being dicks, and I get it. But it's like, God. But for full toxicity, obviously you have like your Call of Duties and stuff, but I don't think they're as bad as they used to be. I'd say probably League of Legends or Dota.
That's what I was leaning towards. I was leaning towards League of Legends or Overwatch. The Overwatch community is fucking garbage. Well, let me rephrase that. For both Overwatch and League of Legends, it's strictly their competitive play. Their ranked or competitive play is just
League of Legends is also
garbage.
the studio, because their studio is fucking garbage.
That is also true. That is also true. Riot is shit.
Yeah,
I do believe they're trying to clean up their act, but currently it is shit.
I don't believe they're trying to clean up their act at all.
But yeah. Anyway, like I said, it is late. I greatly apologize for the technical difficulties we experienced here, guys. I know there was a couple people that were here that aren't here now because of it. But if you're watching us on YouTube, you've got no idea what the fuck I'm talking about because you guys got to skip all the bullshit. And
I just suddenly become a PNG. It's great.
Yeah, but if you're listening it on SoundCloud, there's just going to be a really weird edit in the middle where like the music's not going to sync up properly anymore. That's going to be the only thing you're going to hear. But
you might add a fade of some kind.
Yeah, and then you might suddenly see a point where we just completely lose what the fuck we're talking about, and the conversation completely changes. Dude, I have no idea how the fuck this one might not be going on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be an audio-friendly one.
No, this one's not going to be a SoundCloud one. But this is the first one. We'll figure out the issues, we'll figure out the glitches. And
it's not even our fault. It's Discord's.
No,
so
Discord. Discord, fuck this, man. Thanks, Discord.
So, one thing I'm going to say to wrap this up is for anyone coming out of E3 and it's like, hey, like I want something positive, like out of all this negativity that you see around E3 and stuff. Go watch reaction compilations to some of the big reveals at E3. They will, especially Nintendo's ones. Like I had them recommended to me, and I was like, I'll check these out. Why not? Saves me having to like find people that I actually want to see a reaction from. But the three I recommend, obviously Keanu Reeves. One, because I also did a reaction to that because I was doing it live. And two, because everyone loves Keanu Reeves.
Everyone loves Keanu Reeves.
The other two, I'd say, is the ending to Nintendo, essentially, where you have Banjo and Smash and the Breath of the Wild sequel announcement. Both of those is what I would say go watch to, like even if it's just like you're kind of like tired of negativity, it's kind of a reminder that it's like it's not everyone. It's very much a very vocal minority, and you just get to see people like enjoying games and having a cool time with games. And like Breath of the Wild one especially, like, I've seen people like cry over that. Like,
really?
they were just so happy it brought them to tears, and that's just an announcement. You get it's like as we're talking about that's a lot of optimism.
Yeah.
But these are clearly games that mean a lot to people. I've seen the same with Banjo. People like in tears over Banjo and Smash because they were Banjo-Kazooie fans on the N64 or whatever. And it's like, and it's a really nice, like, positive outlook that I personally enjoyed a lot when I was seeing it. I was like, oh, good. Not everyone is complete trash.
Not everyone's a dick.
Yeah, not everyone's a complete dick.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, Vivid, for being here. We'll be back again next week. I don't know what the topic will be. It'll probably, if Vivid, if you're up for staying up late again for next week, it could probably be. I know Lepley said she was supposed to be here with us tonight. Fortunately, she wasn't feeling very well, so she took the night off. She wants to be here next week, so I'll figure out what I want the topic to be. Probably tomorrow. I have a list, but a couple of them like specific people that I want to be there for that one. Like I want to talk about like game development. I want to reach out to my friend Crankage Games for that one. So there's a couple.
If you got Lab, I reckon meme culture would be a good one.
Yes, I was also I wanted to talk to Lep about like like creating and small creating and also admitting like Facebook group chats and stuff like that. I got to figure out like a topic, like a question, because that's kind of like a long statement. I think I want to talk because I know she's an admin for a Facebook group chat for small creators, and it is toxic as fuck. And I don't know how the fuck she's done it for so long. And I just think it'd be a really, really entertaining hour to talk to her.
We've all had some good memes for that Facebook.
Absolutely.
I'm not even part of that. I've had some great memes.
Absolutely. And I think I want to talk to her about that. I think that might be what we'll talk about next week. But I have a list of topics, and I will look through that, and we will figure out what we want to do for next week. But and honestly, it might be like the 3 of our podcasts. Honestly, if y'all are up for it, we'll just do this every week. And then obviously I'll let you guys know, hey, I'm gonna have Crank with us or something like that. We'll figure it out. Yeah. And then me and Lepoli will get to working on the logo this week.
That's the logo.
Yes. But once again, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening, because this still might go on SoundCloud just so I have something up there. Just so it's there. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow night when I return with The Last of Us. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Oh, Vivid, before we leave, where can they find you at?
You can find me everywhere. Look, I'm everywhere. This face of mine, that sign face. It's everywhere these days. It's even on this now, and it wasn't meant to be. It's Discord emotes. It's Twitch emotes. It's now my backup webcam if Discord fucks up, But you can find me on pretty much every social media platform at VividGym or /VividGym, depending on the platform of your choosing. Instagram is a bit different. We go with Kane Hawk, which is my actual name, KaneHock. Bloody better be The Last of Us.
I will certainly try. I will certainly try.
But yeah, other than that, we got a review coming out this Wednesday. We might have a Monster Prom this Tuesday. I don't know what's going on with that yet. I have to double check.
I'm getting my voice back, man. I might be able to hit some voices. If I'm off Tuesday night, I'll let you know.
Excellent stuff, because we need to get back into that, definitely, because they're always very funny. We also have another show that I'm still working on, trying to get on. It's basically the reverse of this, where Eric would probably be on my show, and we're talking about some of his favorite games. I've been pitching the series for a while, and now I actually have the time to make it. So there we go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, all social media is VividGym. Look,
yes,
Twitter's the best place. That's where the memes are.
Twitter's the best place. But thank you guys so much for being here, and like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Have
a good night.